Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'll be sharing my recipe on how I make this spicy and creamy chicken pasta. So you don't want to miss this recipe for sure. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. And if you have, thank you so much. So stay tuned and let's start cooking. Here are the spices that you will need to marinate the chicken with. You will need 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon of the black pepper powder. You will need 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of the onion powder, half a teaspoon of dried Italian seasonings, half a teaspoon of salt, and 4 garlic cloves. You will also need 1 teaspoon of vinegar to marinate the chicken with. For this recipe, you will need 2 chicken breasts cut into bite-sized pieces. So I go ahead and cut them into bite-sized pieces, and for the garlic, I go ahead and use a zester and I just zest the garlic cloves in there. I find this the easiest way to zest the garlic. I just go ahead and zest it, and then with the help of a spoon, just turn it around and just take all of it off from the ends. Let's go ahead and start marinating the chicken pieces. We're going to go ahead and add the vinegar first, which was 1 teaspoon. And then after that, we're going to add all of the spices that we took out, including the dried Italian seasonings, everything that we took out for this. We're going to go ahead and add it to the chicken pieces. After that, go ahead and give it a good mix, and you can either put this in the refrigerator to marinate or you can cook it right away. In both cases, it tastes excellent. I don't have the time to marinate it, so I'm going to go ahead and cook it right away. Once you mix everything up, this is what it should look like. The next step is that we are going to need to bring a large pot of water to a boil and season it with 1 teaspoon of salt for the pasta. And this is just a little straining tool that I use. It just makes it easier. And for this recipe, you will need 1 box of pasta, any shape that you like. I prefer penne. And you're going to go ahead and cook it accordingly to the directions on the box. But you're going to subtract about 2 minutes from it because you're going to continue cooking this pasta in the sauce once we make it. Go ahead and bring this water to a full boil, and then we're going to go ahead and add our pasta to it. Again, you're going to cook it accordingly to the directions on the package. Just subtract 2 minutes from that because you're going to continue cooking this pasta once we add it to the sauce. So go ahead and give it a mix and start cooking this pasta. The pasta should be cooked accordingly to the directions on the box, less 2 minutes. It should be al dente when it's completely cooked at the end. So that is why you take it out 2 minutes before it's completely cooked. After the pasta is cooked, go ahead and drain the hot water. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and rinse it with cold water to stop the cooking. So again, drain that off as well. So after you rinse this with cold water, you're going to drain that water out as well. And then you're going to go ahead and keep it aside. I went ahead and rinsed this with cold water and drained that water. And now I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and start cooking the chicken. Go ahead and prep everything before you start frying the chicken. We're going to need 1 onion, and I'll show you how to cut that. You'll need 1 jalapeno. You'll need 1 teaspoon of this Better Than Bouillon chicken flavored paste. This I pick up at Costco, and you're going to need a little bit of olive oil. To cut the onion into petals, all you have to do is peel the onion, go ahead and cut it in half, then cut it in half again, and then you're going to do it into 4s, just like this. And then it'll be very easy to separate it into petals. So again, you're going to cut the onion in half, cut it in half again, and then cut it into 4s. And then you'll just separate those and make them into petals just like this. They're very, very easy to do. And the jalapeno, you will just slice it and keep it aside. This is what the onion petals should look like once you're done. And then again, the jalapeno you just sliced. So now we're just going to go ahead and start cooking the chicken in a large frying pan or a skillet on medium-high heat. Go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. After that, you're going to add the chicken and spread it out so it all browns. You kind of want a char to it. So you're going to let it brown on one side first, and then you're going to go ahead and turn it. So you definitely want a little char on it before you go ahead and turn it. Make sure you do fry the chicken in a large skillet because it's easier to spread it out so it browns on one side. You don't want it to overlap too much, otherwise the pieces won't brown up evenly. Once they are nicely browned from the one side, you're going to go ahead and turn them around so they brown on the other side. Again, if you have a little char on it, it just adds flavor. I'm gonna lift one of the pieces up for you to show you what I'm talking about. They should just have kind of like a grill mark or a fry mark on it. That just adds a ton of flavor to it. You can see the pieces right over here that they have a little brown on it. That just adds so much flavor to this chicken. After the chicken is nice and brown, go ahead and add the 1 teaspoon of the chicken bouillon paste into this. I do purchase this from Costco, and this is completely optional, but if you do use it, I would highly suggest it to use it because it does add a lot of flavor to this pasta dish. It just adds a little extra kick in that pasta. So I would highly suggest it, but again, it is completely optional to use. Once you add the chicken bouillon paste, go ahead and add just a little bit of water in there, maybe like a tablespoon or so, and then go ahead and give it a good mix. Once you see the chicken is almost all cooked, you're going to turn the heat on to high, and you're going to go ahead and add the onion petals as well as the jalapeno, and you're going to go ahead and stir fry this on high heat for about 2 minutes. Remember, the chicken should be almost cooked when you're starting to do this. So go ahead and add the onions and the jalapenos, and you're going to stir fry this on high heat. Very, very important on high heat because you don't want the onions to release too much moisture and get soft. You do want the little crunch still left in these vegetables. If you want to add broccoli into this, you can also do this at this time. So whatever vegetables you like, this is what my family prefers. They like the jalapeno and the onions, but you can use any vegetables that you like and you can add them at this point. Just keep in mind, you do want to leave them a little crisp. So go ahead and stir fry this on high heat. Once it is all cooked, set it aside, take it out in a plate and just keep it aside. And now we're going to start making the sauce. For the sauce, you will need 4 teaspoons of butter. You will also need 3 cups of milk or half and half. I would suggest whole milk. And you will need 4 heaping teaspoons of all-purpose flour and about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. So here are all the ingredients that you will need for the sauce. So what you want to do in the same pan that you cook the chicken in, do not clean this out. All these drippings and the bits and pieces of the chicken will add a ton of flavor to your dish. On medium-high heat, go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and you're going to go ahead and add the 4 teaspoons of butter to it. You're going to let the butter melt just slightly, not too much. You just want to melt it just a little bit. So you're going to mix it around all over the pan so it gets all over the pan. To this now, we're going to go ahead and add the 4 heaping teaspoons of all-purpose flour. So go ahead and add that in. Now it's very, very important that you continuously mix it around because you don't want the flour to burn. So you keep mixing it and keep mixing it. And also it helps that it doesn't burn and it won't form too many lumps. So go ahead and mix it around, and you want this flour and butter and olive oil to kind of bubble up a little bit. That's when you know you're ready to add the milk to it. So go ahead and keep mixing it until it slightly bubbles up. It shouldn't take longer than a couple of minutes for it to bubble up just like this. So you can see that it's starting to have nice little bubbles and it's ready for the milk. Once it does that, go ahead and start adding your 3 cups of milk slowly. You can either do milk or half and half, and I am using whole milk. It is very important to keep mixing this. You're gonna keep mixing this so it does not form lumps. Keep mixing it on medium-high heat. Once you see this sauce has thickened up just a little bit, you don't want it too thick, just a little bit, it's time to go ahead and add our chicken, onions, and jalapeno to it. You want all of the juices in there, everything. Just drop everything in there and give it a good mix. Go ahead and mix it around. Once you mix the chicken, now it's time to go ahead and mix the pasta to it. So you're going to go ahead and mix the pasta. Remember, I told you that the pasta is going to continue cooking the 2 minutes in the sauce. So now you're going to go ahead and cook the pasta to al dente, and you're going to go ahead and mix everything together. After about 2 minutes of mixing and everything, this is what it looks like. I did go ahead and sprinkle fresh parsley on it. You can put fresh basil on it, whatever you prefer, and you don't even have to put anything on top. I just like the little hint of green in there with the jalapenos. So it's up to you if you want to garnish it with any fresh herb. You could do basil or you can do parsley. I did go ahead and do parsley. So this is what it looks like. Check this out, guys. How delicious does this look? Spicy and creamy pasta in under 30 minutes. I'll be serving this with garlic toast, but you can serve it with garlic bread or garlic knots. That would be great. You could also add broccoli into this or any kind of vegetables that you like. My family only prefers the onions and the jalapenos, so make it your own. Do try this recipe and let me know in the comments below how it turns out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. And if you have, thank you so much. Remember, always believe in yourself, love yourself, and take care of yourself. Until next time, I'm gonna go in and enjoy my pasta. Look at that. Bye, guys.